Batman's story is famous. An orphan who saw his parents killed, turning grief into justice with unmatched skills and high-tech gadgets. Over the decades, his villains, motivations, and even the essence of the Dark Knight have shifted, adding layers that new readers might not know. Today, we'll explore 10 lesser-known aspects that every fan should discover to truly understand the character's depth. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss any superhero content. Since his first appearance in Detective Comics Dr. 27, 1939, Batman has been published monthly across multiple titles, constantly evolving to keep his story fresh and engaging for both new and long-time readers. Batman Zuran R was first introduced during the Silver Age of comics, and later reimagined through Grant Morrison's Dark storyline in the early 2000s. This persona is a psychological creation Bruce Wayne developed to protect his mind from extreme trauma or manipulation. Zuran R acts independently, serving as a backup identity that can take control whenever the main Batman is incapacitated or his mind is threatened by enemies or psychological pressure. This alternate version functions like a mental safeguard, designed to maintain vigilance and continue fighting crime even when Bruce Wayne's core personality is compromised. It allows the main Batman persona to recover, while Zuran R handles immediate threats with relentless efficiency. Though complex, this reserve Batman ensures Gotham remains protected whenever the Dark Knight faces mental instability or external control. Court of Owls is a secret society that has controlled Gotham City for centuries, composed of the city's corrupt elite. Introduced in the New 52 era in the early 2010s, the group survived DC's later reboots, including Rebirth and Doomsday Clock, and remains part of the official canon. They operate from the shadows, manipulating events and shaping Gotham's history, while ensuring the city stays in turmoil for their own gain and power. The organization uses highly trained assassins called Talons to enforce their will and maintain order according to their secret agenda. Their influence explains why Gotham consistently produces dangerous criminals and twisted minds, keeping chaos and fear at the city's core. Despite being hidden, the Court of Owls exerts control over politics, wealth, and crime, making them a constant threat to Batman and his allies. Batman's origin is connected to the cosmic entity Barbados, featured in the Dark Knight's Metal and Dark Knight's Death Metal storylines, released in 2017 and 2021. These events depicted Batman as an avatar of this otherworldly being, representing vengeance and darkness across the multiverse. Although largely left unexplored afterward, it remains part of DC's canon. This hidden connection adds a deep cosmic layer to the Dark Knight. It shows his story can extend far beyond Gotham's streets. Barbados exists as an ancient, multiversal force, and Batman's link to him introduces supernatural elements into his adventures. It explains some of Gotham's most twisted events and why the Dark Knight faces threats beyond human foes. This connection allows Batman to operate as both a mortal hero and a cosmic agent. Even rarely mentioned today, it enriches his mythology. It proves he can function on a scale far greater than most realize. Joker's origin remains one of the biggest mysteries in DC Comics, and the lack of a definitive backstory is part of his enduring appeal. Over the years, DC has embraced the idea that the villain works more as a concept than a single person. Stories like Batman, Three Jokers, and the 2019 Joker film show that while one unknown man may embody the chaos, the Joker can exist as long as someone continues his methods and spreads his madness. The closest fans get to a real origin is in Batman, the Killing Joke, portraying him as a failed comedian crushed by a cruel world. His transformation into the Joker reflects the extreme violence and unpredictability of his life, creating a persona that perpetuates cycles of crime and chaos. Even after death, his acts and legend continue, emphasizing that the Joker is more an idea than just a man, haunting Gotham and challenging Batman endlessly. Two-Face was once one of Batman's closest allies, as well as a trusted friend of Commissioner Gordon. Harvey Dent began as an idealistic district attorney, committed to justice and law, but after a tragic accident and exposure to corruption, he developed a severe mental disorder that transformed him into Two-Face. Over time, the comics revealed that despite his fall, Dent maintained deep bonds with both Batman and Gordon, making his story uniquely tragic. Today, Two-Face is often portrayed less as a villain and more as an anti-hero, someone Batman still believes can find redemption. His dual nature reflects the constant struggle between justice and chaos, loyalty and obsession, shaping his complex relationship with Gotham. Even as he commits crimes, his past and connections keep him tied to the heroes he once trusted, highlighting the blurred lines between heroism and villainy. Batman is widely recognized as the world's greatest human detective, a title rooted in his origins in Detective Comics and inspired heavily by Sherlock Holmes. His deductive abilities have always been central to his character, allowing him to solve complex crimes that often baffle others. While the films have only touched on this side, the comics have consistently highlighted his genius, showing him unravel mysteries using observation, logic, and forensic skill without ever leaving a crime scene. In stories like Batman, The Long Halloween, Batman, Black and White, and the recent Batman, The Grave, his detective skills are fully showcased. Both Christopher Nolan's trilogy and Matt Reeves' interpretation with Robert Pattinson emphasize this cerebral aspect, portraying him as a hero who relies on intellect as much as strength. This investigative side defines much of his approach to crime, proving he can outthink even the most cunning villains in Gotham. Batman began his career focused on fighting corruption and street-level crime, reflecting the noir and mafia stories popular during his creation. While modern audiences often see him teaming with the Justice League against global or cosmic threats, his essence remains rooted in Gotham's streets. Classic stories like Batman, Year One, and Batman, The Long Halloween show him confronting corrupt politicians and mobsters, proving that human villains can be as compelling as superpowered foes. DC still publishes stories that embrace this gritty, grounded approach, keeping Batman tied to the city's underworld. New readers may notice him facing street criminals instead of cosmic invaders, but this remains true to his core. The Dark Knight's dedication to justice, intelligence, and strategy makes these tales just as thrilling, showing that his greatest battles are often fought within Gotham itself, against human greed and corruption. Batman is often seen as the eternal lone wolf, isolated and brooding, but recent comics reveal a more social side to Bruce Wayne. While he values solitude, he has maintained close relationships with allies like Alfred, all the Robins, and members of the Justice League, including Superman and Wonder Woman. These connections show that behind the mask, he is capable of trust and camaraderie, balancing his independence with meaningful friendships. He also sustains complex relationships with some adversaries, like Catwoman and even Two-Face, showing that his connections extend beyond traditional allies. Over the years, Batman has become more approachable and cooperative, proving he is not truly alone. Despite preferring solitude, he relies on his network of friends and colleagues, and these bonds often help him navigate Gotham's dangers more effectively than he could on his own. Superman has always been one of Batman's closest friends, a bond developed over decades of shared battles and mutual respect. Since Batman, The Dark Knight Returns in the mid-1980s, their relationship has highlighted the contrast between a human hero and a near-godly figure on Earth. Beyond their differences, Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent share a deep understanding of each other, often confiding in one another in ways no one else can comprehend. This friendship is one of DC's most enduring and beautifully written dynamics, showing how trust and loyalty can bridge vast differences. It often unfolds quietly in the pages of ongoing monthly comics, rather than in single blockbuster stories. Over the years, their bond has grown stronger, reflecting how even heroes with such different powers and perspectives can find common ground and rely on each other through Gotham's and Metropolis's greatest threats. Dick Grayson has always been prepared to take on the mantle of Batman, a fact shown through decades of evolving relationships between Bruce Wayne and his Robins. Grayson left the role of Robin to avoid becoming as bitter and isolated as his mentor, eventually becoming Nightwing. While Jason Todd followed a darker path and Tim Drake proved himself a master detective, only Dick truly embodies the qualities Bruce values most: loyalty, courage, and a deep understanding of Gotham's shadows. After the events of the Crisis on Infinite Earths, Bruce finally opened his heart to Grayson, acknowledging that he alone could bear the weight of the Batman mantle. Dick has worn the cowl before, and in a touching moment, he calls Bruce father for the first time in their shared history. This passing of trust reinforces the unique bond of the dynamic duo, showing that Dick Grayson is not just a successor, but the ultimate embodiment of what Batman represents in Gotham. In this video, we explored 10 lesser-known facts every new Batman reader should know. If you enjoyed learning about the Dark Knight's hidden secrets, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more deep dives into your favorite heroes and villains from the DC Universe.